Healing on your journey from narcissistic people, man, narcissistic relationships, situations that you've been in your life, bullies, stuff of that nature. As I get older, there's one thing that I tend to realize the most. When you really, and I mean really, consistently just be no contact with these kind of individuals, man, once you start to really understand like what kind of just mental anguish you get caught up in, like just the mental battle of having to worry about stuff that you don't need to be worrying about. You know how narcissistic people can make situations so grandiose and you got to stop everything and this is such an emergency. They just make it blow it up. Now it's your, emergency. And it's just like, for the most part, your no contact season should start today. Straight up. Like, you've got to go no contact, man. Otherwise, you'll never be able to really successfully, clear your mind of all the mental fog that you've been through, all the mental damage, the beat down. It's crazy because you get so sucked into the intention of it. It's at some point, all the when the love bombing stops and then all the evaluation starts to begin and stuff like that, like you get so sucked into the attention. It's just attention at that point. There is no that's all the means that you're going to get out of them. Because you've accepted all the negativity so much that it gets stuck in your mind that this is who they are. You know what I mean? The almost like Stockholm syndrome type thing. You just start surviving the narcissist. You know what I mean? Like, for real, it's crazy. It's just being no contact from the situation, being so far away. Like, I could think back in moments where, now that I'm here mentally so far away of, I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to think about that. The peace of mind to be able to be clear thoughts, happy thoughts, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, naturally, authentically me, and that's what you want to work towards. That's what you're working towards, is to be more authentically you, because you haven't been you for so long when you're dealing with these kind of people, especially if you're in a relationship with one. Like, you're going to lose yourself. You're going to adjust yourself to all the things and interests and likings of pleasing them. Because anytime that you decide to be your authentic self around them, it irritates them. They get bothered by the authentic you. The authentic you is so much of a narcissistic wound to them, because they can't figure out how can you just be comfortable being yourself. They can't figure that out. They can't figure that out. That's why can't you be like everybody else? Why can't you do all these crazy negative things like everybody else that I know? Why you got to be the goody two shoes or start making those kind of backhanded compliments? Like, you are the authentically you. You know what I'm saying? There's no issue with being that. But what I'm emphasizing is that while you're with them, you take in what they say so heavily and so tough. Trust me, I got it. You take it in so heavily and so tough that you let what they say about you become your own reality in your mind. You start to see yourself and lie to yourself in the situations that you necessarily don't even need to believe in. Like, you take on a lot of the lies that narcissists tell in your face as truth. Trust me, I've been there. I got it. The confusion, the mental fog, and that's what I mean about just the entirety of being no contact. You don't, all of that I just said, like, that's so much every single day. Like, I'm sorry, I was looking back at that, like, man, just you just be, it's so much all the time. You can never be able to focus on anything that's relevant for real, because you're always caught up in the mental fog of the narcissist and dealing with that. That's why the no contact concept is so heavenly effective for your healing journey, And for those of us that's in relationships, co-parenting ships with one, like, you just got to learn how to gray rock, straight up. Like, you just got to learn how to not let them bother you, not let them trigger your emotions. That's the most you can really do out of the situation, in means of showing the child that they can see that you can be calm and, not blow up, like if they may have seen arguments and where the case may have you. I'm just saying, like, you have to learn how to gray rock. And gray rock is tough as well to learn and master, because they know how to push you. They know how to tempt you to blow up and get that reaction. You know what I'm saying? They know, like, the narcissists know how to get that reaction out of you. And that's what I mean about the gray rocking, not letting yourself getting triggered by them. And that also falls into, if you have the ability, or the reality to go no contact, and there is nothing in between you two tied together, no contact. There's nothing else to really talk about. I'll never understand, like, sometimes, like, when people are still friends with their exes, if that's something you do, I got it, that's cool with you. It never worked for me. That's not a thing for me. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it just like this. Most of the time when you're still friends with exes, one of them is a narcissist, straight up. I want to be able to still come back to you the way that I want to, the way that I was when I was with you, like, while trying to build relationships with other people and keep doing that. I'm not really trying to knock the hustle if you can really do it platonically. I don't know how people do that. You feel me? But for me, I can't do that, especially if you're with a narcissist who's going to emphasize, let's still be friends after this. Like, let's still catch up and stuff. Like, it's like they do this hot and cold temperature thing with you. They want to see how far they can pull away while still seeing how much you're going to give while they pull away. And if they pull away too far, they'll come back. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of times we, as just empath people, empathetic people, we tend to be caring, just naturally. So we'll go with the necessary adjustment, if you rather, because of the love we have for the narcissist. You feel what I'm saying? And it just perfectly falls in line with how the narcissist wants to manipulate you and start using the methods to get you stuck and get you caught up and get you silently suffering. The silent suffering is what they want you to have. That's how they really keep you caught up in the mix. Straight up, like, they get you so caught up in the mix that they know you won't really talk to anybody else about it. Because for some of us, like, going through the situation, it can be embarrassing to talk about, or like I tell most people, sometimes people just don't take you serious because there's no way somebody can be that evil, towards you. But the reality is, you just didn't live the reality. And or if you did, you think this kind of behavior is normal, and it's not normal. I need you to understand this situation about these kind of people. This behavior is not normal. This is not like something like this is the grooming of the narcissist. And this is how it starts. Most of us get groomed into this kind of dealing with this kind of behavior since childhood. You see what I'm saying? And we take that, I'm going to deal with that behavior with these kind of people into relationships. And we fall into these narcissistic relationships where we get abused like that because we just took it from when we were kids. You see what I'm saying? You just fall in suit, and it's not normal. You don't need to be abiding by some of the most like manipulative things said to you, done to you, stuff you've had to practice, whatever the case may have you. Like, it's all a means to keep you in that control, man, keep you in that system. And when that narcissist can see that you think like that, they're gonna abuse you. It's, man, I hate to say it like that, but it's just what it is. They're going to abuse you, and they're going to keep doing it for as long as they can, for as long as, it's going to last until you can wake up. If you can wake up. Some people can't wake up from it. They'll stay in it because of, it's comfortable. They've been doing this, so there's nothing else that's going to be better than this. Like, I know that's crazy to say too, but some people just stay into the situation. That's why if you can wake up and go no contact. Wake up. You got to wake up, man. You don't want to live every single day battling your mind about what you saw and what they talked about and how they argued and how they used this and when they pulled this and used this against you and brought up some stuff from when this one time you wasn't thinking about it and made you gaslight yourself and stuff like it's just a wild, like having to go through all of that and do all of these things and be so stressed out and be so caught up in that mental fog. That mental fog is the hardest thing to get out of for real too, because you are gaslighting yourself at that point to stay with them. You start to tell yourself there's honor in staying with somebody that at some point it'll change if I love them enough. They like to find these kind of people, man, when they see you think like that. I'm not saying like don't change your the way you love genuinely and authentically. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like vet people more, or that you want to have around you. You know what I'm saying? Get to know people more. Straight up. Like the narcissist likes to find people like this and collect Pokemon. That's wild. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't joke like that, but I'm just saying like, but that's just what it is though. I really want to understand that. Like when you hang around, when you're there, you see all the, like they just, everybody gotta talk and keep up with everybody. And it's like, dang, relax. You can't relax, and they make you feel bad because you don't want to be social when it's not that deep. They make you feel bad about a lot of things that's not that deep. Super not that deep. You don't have to be that social and be out all the time 24/7, need people in your face 24/7. It's not that deep. You know what I'm saying? They need that attention for themselves. And that is something that I always emphasize too, like zoom out from what you thought the relationship was, what the narcissist showed you with the mask. You have to zoom out from that, in order to even really pay attention to how peace of mind you get from having the no contact. You know what I'm saying? And let me dissect that. Look at this for what it is and not from what you think that it could be. You feel what I'm saying? Like if this is consistently happening, consistently happening with these same situations, Groundhog Day, you can literally have an itinerary of the nonsense you're going to have with the narcissist throughout the week type stuff. Friday is going to happen. Saturday night, this is what's going to pop off. Like you know how that's going to be. So when you zoom out and look at it like that from what you're doing, you need to have the courage to remove yourself. Don't be so emotionally caught up in, I want them to change, they'll change, and they'll be able to. Listen to me. There's no honor in getting beat up every single day like that mentally. There's no honor in that. I wish I could have told myself sooner in certain situations, few situations, there's no honor in this. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, we all think we find valor of some sort, and it's like, that's what I meant about, like in some of my other videos when I mentioned like we do this to ourselves at some point, because now we do know what's happening. We do know this is going to happen. Once we know that it's going to happen on an itinerary, like I said, now it starts to become self-inflicted. And at that point, you got to make a choice. You going to keep dealing with this, or you going to wake up and remove yourself and go no contact. Go no contact. There's nothing else to really talk about. There's no SARS, there's no closure. I need you to understand something too. When they show you the recklessness of themselves and with you, and how reckless you've become, and how you tend to think and do and just go out your way, and the fire rings and all these things, I need you to understand this. Like, there's a lot of recklessness and not thinking about your safety and well-being in all these situations you've ever been in with them. There was never a thought about what the outcome was going to be for the betterment on their end. So hear me what I'm saying, because if you're watching this video and you're understanding everything that I'm saying up until this point, you know that you've always thought about the better outcome of the situation while being with them. and they've never thought about that being with you based off what you've been through with them. So with that understanding, when you zoom out, they didn't care about you to begin with as much as you think or that you may have hoped them to have in their heart for you, the way you have for them. And when you zoom out and look at it like that, that's going to make you go no contact. It better make you go no contact. That's scary. That person that you say you're in love with like that person you say that you care for and whatever the case may have you, don't think about you like that. There's no reciprocation on that end. That's scary. That should make you go no contact. For real. Knowing that, seeing it like that. That's what I mean about like zooming out from the relation, zooming out for what it is, seeing it for what it is, not what they showed you. The actions and the things the narcissists say will never line up in any capacity. And when you really take heed in what I'm saying, with saying that, when I'm emphasizing, that's what you need to pay attention to. That should scare you and make you not ever want to talk to them again. Anyway, that should scare you. That there was never a best interest on their end for you in any of these situations that you may have thought you were trying to fix. Especially when the new supply comes in and the triangulation starts. Like that's the safety issue with all of that. Like you should already see to yourself how unsafe it is to be with this person, trying to fix it with this person. You feel what I'm saying? You'll know at some point where this is starting to become a hazardous to your life. You know what I'm saying? I hate to joke like that, but it's real though. It's hazardous because anything can happen with them. It's always unpredictable, but you're trying to plan for the better outcome. Going no contact. Period. Your mind needs to repair. It needs to heal from this. Your mind needs to be able to be normal and react normal and think normal without having to worry about nonsense. Things that's going to zap you of your energy and zap you of your identity. Things that's going to keep you caught up and keep you in a procrastinated state of other things that you want to build in your life. You can't even focus on nothing because you still want to interact with the narcissist. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta stop. Like it's like I understand the dopamine hit, or you need that whatever, or the knowing. Like you gotta let it go. You're gonna put yourself you're gonna do more justice to yourself in the long term by letting go and removing yourself and working on yourself than sitting here trying to make it work with somebody who would never change in any capacity, who would put you in unsafe conditions on purpose. That should scare you and make you go no contact. If that don't make you go no contact, listen, I don't want anybody to ever feel like you need to stay with somebody that is going to make you feel like every day is a battle. That's not healthy. That's not a way that you should strive to live and or get used to living with. You shouldn't strive to want to live every single day mentally trying to get yourself out of these black holes that's going to keep you sucked in, pulling you on gravity. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's so much stress, man. I cannot stress to you. I cannot stress to you, you know, the peace of mind these days. You want to reach a level of peace of mind to be able to have retrospection about all of this stuff up until this point and not bother you, but just the understanding of what you've learned from it in order to become a better you going forward. Because this situation, whether you believe it or not, it was supposed to happen in order for you to wake up and understand, you know, your value to yourself. Straight up. That's like one of the biggest realizations about going through the journey in healing, was that I realized it got to a point to where I was supposed to go through this so I could understand my self-worth, you feel me? So I hope this message finds you well. I'm Fonzie Murph, and I'm out. Peace.